Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and today I thought I would address a question that's come up again, and I guess there's some confusion there because of a recent video I made. I don't even remember which one I made recently where there's confusion on it, but so many people ask this question and I guess people don't understand my previous stance. They're like, oh, you're contradicting yourself. You said before that you can build a stronger core by not wearing a belt, but you can do more work with a belt, and you're contradicting yourself. Let me make this perfectly clear. The reason that you can lift more weight with a belt on big heavy compound movements is because it creates a wall for your abs to press against and create more pressure against the abdominal wall by doing that. But it doesn't necessarily mean just because you have an object to push against for stability, to increase stability in something like your trunk, doesn't mean that the muscle fibers themselves are actually contracting harder. You're recruiting more total motor units while doing so. And that's the point that needs to be raised there. It's not necessarily making your core stronger by doing that. It's allowing you to stay more upright through the use of a device and create extra pressure inside your core for better stability so that you can move more weight. What seems to be the case from overall training and watching champions train is that a lot of the very best powerlifters and lifters out there spend a lot of time training without a belt, and they seem to develop much stronger cores as a result of it. Most coaches I know agree with that. Most coaches I know who have graduate degrees in biomechanics or sports physiology tend to agree with that. Now, some people do want to point out that there are EMG studies, or at least one that seems to contradict this, and I don't want to get into just this video, the limitations of EMG studies. It's something I can cover again later. I've covered in the past. Using EMG studies as your primary evidence for something like that is really not a good idea. It's not accurate enough or reliable enough to make that sort of determination, and particularly the way that it would have to be conducted to do that with a belt on. So that's another topic entirely. And so the reality is it's not necessarily making your core stronger to use a belt. Or even allowing it to contract harder. It's just giving it something to press against, and in a way that means in order to get the same stability in the trunk, your core is having to do less work because it has something to press against to create pressure. So it does more work without the muscle fibers having to fire as hard, at least in theory, and that does seem to be the case of how it works. So don't confuse the two in regards to that. And so I generally stick by the statement is that if you want a much stronger overall core, you need to spend significant amounts of time training without a belt on your big, heavy, basic movements. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.